Look up. That pot is falling from a 6th-floor window. If it kills you, Roman law already has a price for your death. Welcome to the greatest city on earth. 1 million people packed into apartment towers that burned, cracked, and collapsed. Streets covered in garbage. Laundry cleaned with urine. Enough noise to keep an entire city awake. But here is the strange part. Rome's poorest citizens also had fast food, hot baths, free bread, free entertainment, and workdays that ended around noon. So which life was actually better, yours or theirs? Today, you are not Caesar. You are one ordinary Roman, trying to survive one full day. You wake up on the 6th floor, and that is the first thing you need to understand about Rome. The city is upside down. Today, the penthouse is the prize. In Rome, height meant poverty. The rich lived on the ground floor, with running water and a fast exit. Every staircase you climbed, the rent dropped, until you reached the garret under the roof tiles, your floor. The poet Juvenal knew exactly where you live. He said, when the building burns, the man up where the gentle doves lay their eggs burns last. Burns, because these buildings burned constantly. Rome was stacked with apartment towers called insulae. 6, 7 stories, tens of thousands of them. The city's own records list about 25 rental blocks for every private mansion. They were built fast, cheap, and tall, and they fell down so often that Roman writers joked about it. Cicero owned a couple. He wrote to a friend that 2 of his shops had collapsed and the rest were cracking. He said even the mice had moved out. Even when the building stays standing, it hides nothing. The walls are wattle and mud, thin as a promise. You know your neighbor's cough. You know which stair creaks under the wine merchant and which one creaks under his wife. When the family below argues, you get every word. When the building shifts in the wind, everyone goes quiet at the same time, listening. Then someone laughs, because what else are you going to do? The collapses got so bad that emperors passed height limits. Augustus capped buildings at about 7 stories. Trajan cut it lower, and one man got rich off all of it. Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome, kept a private crew of 500 builders. When a building caught fire, he would show up and offer to buy the burning building, along with the terrified buildings next door, all at insulting prices. Only after the owner sold did his crew get to work. Plutarch says that is how Crassus came to own most of Rome. Not a fire department, a shakedown with buckets. So you survive the night in a building that wants to fall on you. What's waiting outside? You head down 6 flights into the street, and you watch your step. And your head. There is no toilet in your building worth trusting. Most apartments used chamber pots. And gravity. Enough Romans emptied them out the window that Roman law developed a specific rule for it. If anything thrown from a window hit you, the occupants of that apartment owed damages. If it killed a free man, 50,000 sesterces. Here is the beautiful part. The law did not care who actually threw it. Nobody can identify a window 6 floors up. Everyone in the flat was on the hook. Juvenal joked you should write your will before walking to dinner. Now, about that laundry. Rome's laundries really did clean wool with urine. It actually works. The ammonia lifts stains. So laundry shops left jars on the street corners for passersby to fill. Public restroom and supply chain in one pot. The emperor even taxed it. When his son complained the money was disgusting, Vespasian held a coin to his nose and said the famous line, "Money doesn't smell." The streets themselves are a paste of mule dung, market garbage, and worse. That is why Roman crossings have those famous stepping stones. They are not decoration. They are how you cross the street without touching it. If you need a bathroom, the city has more than 100 public latrines. Marble benches, 20 seats, no walls between them. And nobody thinks that's strange. You sit shoulder to shoulder with strangers and chat. About the races, about bread prices, about the neighbor who almost got hit by a pot this morning. It's not a bathroom to them. It's a social club that happens to have a smell. Next to you is a sponge on a stick, and historians genuinely still argue about whether everyone shared it. Some questions archaeology may never answer. Maybe that's mercy. By now, Rome sounds almost impossible to live in. So why did 1 million people stay? Because here is where the story flips. This filthy, deafening, collapsing city gave its poorest citizens things we still haven't managed. You have no kitchen? Doesn't matter. Rome invented the fast food counter. In Pompeii, a town of 12,000, archaeologists have found about 80 of them, 1 per block. Marble counters with pots of hot food sunk right in, painted menus on the wall. Duck, rooster, snails, wine. Eating out every day was not a luxury in Rome. It was what poor people did. Food is only half of it. Every afternoon, the whole city moves somewhere else. The baths. Entry costs 1 quadrans, the smallest coin Rome minted. Pocket lint. For that, you get hot pools, cold pools, exercise yards, gossip, and the closest thing the ancient world had to a spa day. Every day. And understand what the bath actually is. It's not hygiene. It's the living room of the entire city. It's where you hear the news, close a deal, find a job, meet a friend. The philosopher Seneca lived above one, and he wrote down everything he could hear through the floor. The grunting weightlifters, the splashers, the man screaming as his armpits got plucked. He was miserable. Everyone else was having the time of their lives. Rich and poor in the same water. Try naming one place in your city where that's true. Your bread is free, literally free. By Augustus's own account, around 200,000 citizens collected the grain dole. A later emperor upgraded it to bake loaves and threw in pork fat and cheap wine. And your entertainment is free. 50,000 seats at the Colosseum, 150,000 at the chariot races, over 135 festival days a year, paid for by men trying to buy your love. Oh, and the workday? Romans worked roughly 6 hours, sunrise to just past noon. Then, baths. The poet Martial wrote the schedule down like a train timetable. Free bread, free games, nearly free spas, 6-hour workdays. Be honest. Part of you just considered it. Then the sun goes down, and Rome collects its payment. Julius Caesar banned carts from the streets during the day to fix the traffic, which means every delivery in a city of 1 million people happens at night. All of it. Iron wheels on stone, ox drivers cursing in 3 languages, under your window every single night of your life. And there's no escaping it. No glass in your window, just wooden shutters that keep out light and let in everything else. You learn the sounds the way a sailor learns weather. The crash, the argument, the laugh that follows. Somewhere around your 1000th night, it stops being noise. It's just Rome, breathing. Juvenal wrote that most sick men in Rome die of insomnia. He said it takes great wealth to sleep in the city. The rich buy silence the way we buy square footage. But the carts are not the only thing keeping you awake. Somewhere in the wall is the crack you've been ignoring. The landlord papered over it last spring. Juvenal knew that move too. He said the landlord props up a ruin, hides the old cracks, and tells you to sleep soundly, while the building stands ready to fall. You live your whole life like this. Statistically, it is not a long one. Average life expectancy in Rome was under 30, but that number is a math trick played by dead babies. Rome's real curse was that half its children never reached 10. Survive childhood, and you had a fair shot at your 50s, 60s, beyond. The city was full of old people, every one of them a survivor. Those numbers make Romans sound like statistics. They weren't. In Pompeii, somebody scratched a message into a wall. Not a philosopher, just a person. It says, "On April 19th, I made bread." Another wrote, "Secundus greets his prima, wherever she is." And my favorite, on a wall so covered in scribbles it was running out of room, "I am amazed, O wall, that you have not collapsed under the weight of so much tedious graffiti. 2,000 years, and it's your group chat. Complaints, love notes, dumb jokes, someone proud of their bread." Your city would terrify them. The speed, the noise in your pocket, strangers ignoring each other by the million, and theirs would put you in a hospital by Friday. But the people are not different. They crammed into overpriced apartments in a loud, filthy, magnificent city, because everything was happening there, and they could not imagine living anywhere else. 1 million people chose Rome anyway. You'd probably have chosen it too. You basically already have. Tomorrow morning, somewhere in your own loud, crowded, magnificent city, look up. Nothing is falling. It's almost the only thing that's changed.